Chapter 413, Cave Association. Upon hearing the name Trier Cave Association and their invitation to rat Christo, Lumion didn't feel puzzled initially. Instead, he recalled the secret map of underground Trier he had once seen from Gardner Martin. The upper section of the map was as detailed as if one had infiltrated the municipal department and copied the original information. Now, Lumion suspected that it might have been leaked from the Trier Cave Association. This seemingly civilian organization had a large number of cave researchers. Some of them were employees of the municipal department or expert consultants. They had ample opportunities to come into contact with confidential exploration and construction information. There was no lack of people who had participated in the municipal modification decades ago. They were hands-on witnesses who had bored through various tunnels and reinforced all the quarry caves. They had a deep understanding of underground Trier. Lumion looked at Rat Christo and asked thoughtfully, "Do you really not understand why they invited you to join the association?" Rat Christo smiled sheepishly and said, "I have a guess, but I'm not sure. Seal, don't tell me they've discovered I'm a smuggler leader." As a merchant who had long exploited underground Trier's concealed nature to smuggle alcohol, weapons, and ammunition, Christo's knowledge of different tunnels, remote mines, underground tombs, and hidden chambers rivaled that of most members of the Cave Association. He even possessed secret routes that remained unknown to others. Moreover, his nickname was Rat, and he was a true beast tamer. With the help of his animal friends, his tentacles could extend to many areas that humans couldn't reach. Christo suspected that the Cave Association had taken a liking to him because of these traits. That was why he felt uneasy. Whether it was his status as a beast tamer in the Beyonder domain or his nature as a big-time smuggler, they were enough to send him to trial. His options would probably range from hanging, a firing squad, incineration, beheading, to becoming a low-level experimentalist. Lumion chuckled. "I don't believe that adventurers who join the Cave Association haven't been involved in smuggling and don't have Beyonders among them." "That's right," Rat Christo exhaled and said, "the Cave Association wants some business from me." Lumion glanced at him and said, "That's why you should consult the boss about this, not me." Christo lowered his voice and smiled ingratiatingly. "I'm just worried that the boss will take the opportunity to assign me some dangerous mission." Based on Gardner Martin's previous missions and the confidential map, this Rat keenly sensed the boss's extraordinary interest in underground Trier. He felt that if he joined the Trier Cave Association, Gardner Martin might arrange for him to contact some members of the association and attempt to steal confidential information or participate in research and risky expeditions. And that often meant danger. He had consulted Lumion not only because he felt that his colleague was powerful, knowledgeable, and quick-witted, but also because he wanted to find someone to shirk his responsibility in advance. He had already made up his mind to join the Trier Cave Association and keep it a secret from Gardner Martin, the boss of the Savai mob. For him to progress from an ordinary mobster to a Beyonder and take control of the Savai mob's smuggling business, he relied on two principles. One, he had to avoid provoking anyone stronger than him, choosing only to bully the weak. If he ran out of options, he could seek help from his colleagues and join forces. Two, he had to never place all his chips on a bet or one person. Previously, he had fawned over Lumion, displaying a certain degree of submission. His words were filled with praise for Lumion because he valued his colleague's rapid advancement in sequence, his strength, and his intelligence. If he befriended him, he might be able to save his life from a dangerous mission given by Gardner Martin at a critical moment. Now that he had a chance to join the Trier Cave Association and interact with more factions and powerful figures, Rat Christo naturally didn't want to let it go. He didn't want his connections to be limited to the Savai mob and the Market District. If Gardner Martin lost power one day or he was given a certain death mission, he needed to switch teams, one that could protect him. Gardner Martin definitely couldn't know about this, but if he accidentally discovered the matter, Christo could naturally blame it on Seal. "I, Rat, am a boorish and uncultured individual. I spend my days dealing with animals, laborers, and the dark underground. I have limited knowledge and ain't very bright. I often seek guidance from Seal when I encounter matters, and he told me that I could join the Cave Association. He said it was a very normal and personal matter. Lumion looked at Christo with a faint smile, his dark blue eyes and grayish-black hair, and didn't respond to his inquiry. Instead, he asked, "You've been a beast tamer for a long time, right? Do you know what the next sequence is?" Judging by Rat's care and concern for his animal companions, even if he didn't know the acting method, the beast tamer potion should have mostly been digested. "I don't know, the boss didn't tell me." Christo's eyes darted around. Lumion chuckled and said, "As far as I know, the next sequence of Beast Tamer is a qualitative change. It will bring you an all-around improvement, including a longer lifespan and a body with better recovery traits." Without waiting for Christo to press further, Lumion changed the subject. "Therefore, you must work hard to complete the mission given by the boss, and strive to obtain the corresponding rewards as soon as possible." Yes, Christo hastily agreed. Only then did Lumion steer the conversation back on track. He smiled and asked, "Do you wish to join the Trier Cave Association?" Christo stammered, "I am curious about their motives. Moreover, the person who came seems polite and keeps smiling, but I keep feeling that his actions are a threat to me." "Yes, a threat." "The one following him is even more expressionless. He looks at me as if I'm a dead man, a criminal awaiting trial." Curious, Lumion chuckled inwardly, grasping Rat's inclination and thoughts. Angrily, he said, "How dare they threaten a leader of our Save mob? We must inform the boss about this." No need," Christo panicked. "The Cave Association is a semi-official organization. We're just mobsters. There's no need to clash with them. This won't do you, me, or Red Boots, who are members of the Save mob in the Market District, any good." Lumion clicked his tongue silently, planning to add fuel to the fire and force the truth out of Rat. At that moment, Sarkoda, who had been guarding the staircase at the bottom, walked up and said to Lumion, "Boss, 2 individuals calling themselves Trier Cave Association liaisons are here to pay you a visit." "Visit me? Someone from the Trier Cave Association is visiting me?" Lumion glanced at Rat Christo, who had his hands on the table in surprise and confusion. He leaned back in his chair and said to Sarkoda, "Invite them up." The Trier Cave Association's 2 liaisons were young. They wore black formal attire and blue bow ties. One had brown hair, brown eyes, and a reserved smile. The other had black hair and brown eyes, expressionless and cold. The friendly liaison glanced at Rat Christo and fixed his gaze on Lumion's face. He smiled and asked, "Good afternoon. Are you Monsieur Seal Dubois?" Yes. Lumion wanted to see what the Trier Cave Association was up to. The liaison who had asked the question earlier smiled condescendingly and said, "We're members of the Trier Cave Association. My name is Joseph, and this is my colleague, Rayan. We're here to invite you to join our association. We just invited Monsieur Christo, who's standing beside you, a few hours ago." Lumion didn't hide his emotions and asked with amusement, "What do I have that caught your Cave Association's eye?" "I'm not a smuggler who frequents underground Trier. Could it be that you know that I entered the 4th level of the catacombs and obtained the Samaritan women's spring water? Could it be that you still know that I'm a member of the Iron and Blood Cross Order and am aware of a series of hidden catacombs like the Albert Mines?" Joseph replied with a smile, "We have our reasons. If you're willing to join our association, you'll definitely know the specific reason." Rayan, who was taller than Joseph, added coldly, "That's a good thing for you." Lumion gazed at them for a few seconds before chuckling. "I'm not interested in your association." The expressionless Rayan narrowed his eyes. "I hope you won't regret it." Joseph smiled meaningfully and said, "You might not know the significance of our Cave Association in Trier. Unfortunately, you missed this opportunity." With that, the 2 of them turned around and prepared to walk towards the stairs leading to the ground floor. As Lumion watched them leave, he raised his head slightly. What is the Trier Cave Association up to? This matter is definitely not simple. Perhaps this is an opportunity. If I offend the Cave Association, Gardner Martin probably won't let me stay in the Market District anymore. My current mission in the Iron and Blood Cross Order is to investigate the Sauron family's decline and explore the underground to find the entrance to Fourth Epic Trier. It has nothing to do with staying in the Market District. Once I leave the Market District, I'll be out of Loki's sight. I can slip into the shadows and wait patiently. I wonder if I can continue enjoying Sal de Balbrise's share of profits. If anything goes awry, I'll teleport away immediately. As these thoughts raced through his mind, Lumion suddenly knocked on the coffee table in front of him. Amidst the thumping sounds, he glanced at Joseph and Rayan's figures and asked calmly, "Who gave you the permission to leave?"